Hi, this is the help video for Access Chapter 12, the training assignment. This is movie number 3, and we're beginning on step number 14. We're working with macros and using macros to automate tasks that are necessary within a system. So our next step is to create another new macro. And so this macro is one that's a very common theme, and that's to open up a report, send it to the printer, close the report, right? So it's just, you tie this to a button, somebody clicks on the button, it runs the macro, it prints the report they need, and they don't care about anything underneath. So let's go ahead and create a macro. We're always going to begin with our comment, so we're going to open this up and click comment. The following macro group. We're doing a group. We'll open specific reports, send them to printer, and then close the reports. Each sub-macro has an assigned set of keys used to execute. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do, notice that this does not say, okay, so we're done with this. Let me close this out. All right, so the next step, step 15, if I start reading, it says add a submacro program flow, right? Doesn't say action. So if we come back up here and we look at our action catalog, right, it's in this category of program flow. I want to make sure show all actions is on, and I can use it either way. Action catalog are right here. And look, the 4 items that are in program flow are at the top here. So we're going to do a sub macro. In the name of the submacro, we're going to type the caret and the small I. So we're actually going to type the caret, which is the shift number 6 on your keyboard, and then a lowercase I. And what that translates to is a user, if they want to run this macro, can type control, which is this represented by the caret here, that shift number 6 character, I. And so that key combination is going to set off this macro. And how you designate that is you actually type that character, the caret, and then the I. So we're going to put that in. Just an FYI, if you wanted to look in your book, this step of the submacros that we're building, this macro group, is on page 638. Okay, so now we're beginning this macro that's controlled by the control I key, and it says add the open report action, there's that key, to the sub macro block. So notice here we're in this little block. So we're going to go here and we're going to pick open report. So the report we're going to RPT employee schedule. Notice I start typing, it starts filling in just like our last time, or we could use the drop down and pick it from here. So that's the report we want to open, the employee schedule. We want to view it in report view. We don't have any kind of filter or any kind of where condition right now, and we want to open it in normal mode. So that's pretty simple. We just want to open the report, right? Look at it in report view. So that's opening it, right? That doesn't actually print it, right? It's just showing it to you. So the next step that we're going to do in this process is the run menu command. So what this would do would represent for you something that you would do from the menu up here, right? Or from a menu. And so what we want to do is we want print object. so the command that we have here, we're going to click this down, and there's all these commands that we can do, right? And, you know, you're just touching on the top here, so don't freak out about all this. There's just, there's a lot, but it shows you how powerful this can be. So print object, sorry. So if I do PRI, PRIN, it'll take me to, right, instead of me scrolling through it, right? So print object is the command. So we're going to run the menu command, and we're going to say print object. The object that we opened was this report, right? So let's make sure. Run, select print object. So we did that. So all this does is open this report and run the print, right? So print the object that I have opened, which is this employee schedule. So then we're going to close the window. So close window. The object type is going to be a report. We want to close the report that we're done with. The report that we have that we want to close, because we might have more than one object open. Employee schedule, and we don't want to save it. Ignore this message. So this is saying it's unsafe because we're saying we're not saving it, but really all we're doing here is printing it. There's no editing. There's nothing to actually save. So we are good with that. All right, so now we're going to do another submacro, and I want you to notice, see where the submacro is, and then come down here, end submacro. So we want to go beyond that submacro, and we're going to add a new submacro, and this one's going to be called caret little e, lowercase e. So shift number 6, E. So that represents the control E key to execute this submacro. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to mark that so I don't lose my place. All right, so guess what we're going to do? We're going to open a report. We're going to run the command that says print it, and we're going to close it, right? Exact same steps, but with a different report. So we're going to, inside this, between the submacro and end submacro, we're going to click the add new. We're going to do open report. The report we're going to open is RPT products. We're going to open it for report view and normal. We don't have any kind of a condition. So that's all we needed to do is understand that we're opening report and picking the report in report view. We're then going to add a run command. Run menu command, and we're going to use this down arrow, and what we're picking is print object. So print object. What's opened, we're printing it. The next action is going to be the close window. The object is the report, The object name is RPT products, right? We want to match it with here, and we're not saving it. So now we have our second macro within this group that can be executed with key combinations. All right. So we're going to add a third one. So we go outside of the end submacro, and we add a new top, we're going to do submacro, and this time it's going to be the caret, which is the number 6. And then we want to use the F1 key, right, the function key. So we have to include that in curly braces, right? So that's next to the P on the keyboard, and you have to shift. So that's in front of surrounding the F1. We're going to do the same thing though, guys. We're going to open a report. So open report. The report name is RPT schedule by customer. It's a report, normal, and we're good. So we've started a new macro in the group. We have said we're going to open this report, scheduled by customer. We want it in report view. So now we need to what? Run menu command and do print. So I'm going to come in here, run menu command, and it is going to be print object. So whatever the object is that you have open. And then the last thing is going to be our close window. And it's a report. And the object name is going to match what we just opened here. So RPT schedule. And we're not going to save it in this scenario because we're just printing them. We're not doing anything. So we have all of that done. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to save this as a special name. It's going to be called auto keys. Okay. Okay, so I want to test these out. So I closed out of my macro. And so now let's go back and explore these. So the first one is an E, Control E. So if I click Control E, look, I open up the product list report products. It opened it up. It took me to the print screen where I can decide where I want it to print. I actually don't want to print it, so I'm going to cancel, and my report closes, right? So those are the 3 actions we did. Open the report, print, close. So let's do the next one. What was this one? Control I. All right, so Control I was employee schedule. Same thing. Opened, tried to print. I'm going to cancel so I don't waste paper and ink. And it closes it, so that one works. Last one is the Control F1. Schedule by customer. Schedule by customer. Opened it. This box is here because I said run menu command, print object. That's what gave me this. I'm going to cancel and then automatically the close window. So those all work. Awesome. All right, I am going to stop that at this point, and we're going to pick up with step number 18 in our next movie. Thank you.